I get asked not infrequently for Red Rising recaps that aren't long-form chapter-by-chapter breakdowns, but also don't include spoilers for the next book in the series, and inevitably I end up sending them a voice note that I've recorded myself, which is frankly getting kind of time-consuming. So here we are. I've decided to record a version of my voice notes for everyone to use. If you are interested in longer form recaps, there are several podcast options, and I will link those in the description below. This video will be a quick primer of the world of Red Rising, and then I'll do one video for each book in the series. Hopefully they will all be around 5 minutes long, and definitely no more than 10 minutes each, so that you can watch all of them and in 1 hour and be ready to go for Red God whenever that comes out, without having to relive the trauma yourself. You are welcome. So let's get into it. Red Rising is set several centuries in the future. The exact timeline is unclear, but likely more than 1,000 years from now. It's set in our solar system, where humanity has colonized the other planets and moons. Humanity has evolved in the intervening years into a color caste system in which each color has real discernible genetic differences. Those are obviously manufactured originally, but they're mostly inherited by this time. Colors are broken into a hierarchy of high, mid, and low colors, and then within each there is a mini hierarchy. Gold is the top of the society. Their top dog is called Peerless Scarred, and we'll get into that in the next video. Notable characters include Cassius O. Bellona, Nero O. Augustus and his children Virginia, aka Mustang, and Adrius, aka the Jackal. Rogue O. Fabii, Fitchner O. Barca and his son Severo, Antonia O. Severus Julii and her half-sister Victra O. Julii, Tactus O. Valii Wrath and his older brothers Tharsis and Apollonius, Lauren O. Arcos, aka Stoneside, and Octavia O. Lune, aka the Sovereign of the Society, and her grandson Lysander. Silvers are in charge of finances. Most notable silver is Regulus Ag's son, aka Quicksilver, who we meet in book 2. Whites are in charge of rituals and judging trials. The only white I can think of is Xenophon, who doesn't show up until book 4. Coppers are bureaucrats. They're administrators, lawyers. I myself identify as a copper. Timony Pogonus runs the mine where Darrow is born, and Publius Caraval shows up in book 4. We then have the mid-colors. We have blues, which are pilots. Orion is the most famous of all the blues. Yellow are medical. I can't think of anyone by name. Same thing with green, the tech bros. Can't think of anyone. There is one in book 4, but I don't remember their name. And then we have violets, who are the artists. Their top echelon is a carver, which is what Mickey does for the Sons of Ares. Then we have oranges, the mechanics. Their highest title is Master Maker, which is what Glarastes is, and we meet him as well as Harnassus in the later books. And then gray. They are soldiers, police. There's an argument that can be made that grays are really the top of the low colors, but the most important thing to note is that grays they're separating the low colors from the rest of society. Notable grays are Ugly Dan, who polices the mine where Darrow is born. There's Holiday T. Nakamura and her brother Trig, and then Ephraim T. Horn, who we meet in the later books. He's a POV character. And then we have low colors. We have the browns, who are servants, gardeners, janitors. I don't have anyone by name. Some places list Figment, who we meet later in the books. We have her listed as a brown, but that is unclear. Obsidians are warriors. Their top rank is Stained, which is what our most famous obsidian is, Ragnar Valaris. He and his sister Sephi show up in books 2 and 3. And then Volga comes on the scene in book 4 and is just generally adorable. Pinks are sex slaves. The most prized pink is a rose. Evie and Matteo are pinks that we meet in book 1, and we meet Theodora in book 2. Last but not least, or I guess technically last and least, are the reds. They are the lowest members of societies. They are menial labor, and they're broken into high reds and low reds. Low reds are the reds in the mine, like Darrow. I am not going to list all of the red characters, but obviously Darrow, his mother Deanna, his uncle Neril, and his brother Kieran, his wife Io, and her sister Dio. We have Harmony and Dancer, who are Sons of Ares. Lyria is a POV character in the later tetralogy. The first book takes place entirely on Mars, and then the world expands to the other planets and moons from there in each book. The next video will cover Red Rising, which I can already tell is going to be the hardest one to recap because I've read it so many times. But if you are interested in this series, in watching these videos and sending them to your friends who need Red Rising recaps, follow me on Instagram or TikTok at Sharkbait's Bookshelf, and or subscribe to High Key Obsessed on YouTube, where these videos will also be posted.